Welcome to The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. This is step number 25 along the path. Today, people who may or may not stay with you throughout life. And the power of okay. Now, let's get started on the path for today. And welcome. This is The Practical Path. And like we said, step number 25 along the path. I know.
Wow.
Skledaski here along with my friend, spiritual guru, coach, and all-around cool person, Vicki Wagner. How are you this morning?
I'm good, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. We were just chatting before the recording started about how life is going these days, and we both have some interesting things happening, and some of them are for public knowledge, and some of them are not.
but there's one big one.
But there's one big one. And what would that be?
Happy birthday, Bill.
Today, as we record this, you'll be hearing it a couple of days later. But yes, as we record this on Tuesday, January 28th, it is my birthday. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, I share. I found out a week ago when we were comparing notes that I share a birthday with one of the little old ladies. I shouldn't say little old lady. That's a negative. I share with one of the more senior citizens in my pickleball group. A lady in my pickleball group. We have the same birthday, so she's a few years senior than me, but that's okay. And so I told her we should at least go for a drink or something one of these days.
Yeah.
She's actually having kind of a New Year, a late New Year's, but everybody's been celebrating. So now we can get our seniors group together, party this coming Friday night. So that'll work. Yeah.
Good. So anyway, celebrate your birthdays.
Thank you. I will. It's yeah. So for those of you who follow that sort of spiritual thing, I'm Aquarius with Aquarius rising. I'm a double Aquarius, which
Whoa.
I know, right? It's kind of somebody once said that the rising sign, and I'm not an astrology expert, don't quote me, but somebody once told me the regular sign that you quote to people is the sign you were born under. And then the rising sign is the traits that you kind of portray to the public. That's kind of your persona. Okay. I see you nodding, so I'm good with that. So but what you see is what you get with me.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. I always know where you're coming from. I mean, you're right there. This is it.
Thank you. So anyway, if your birthday is this week or whatever, happy birthday to any and all of our friends and listeners out there. And there you go. So all good. I know your birthday in March. Your birthday sometimes, like every 3 years or something, ends up on Friday the 13th.
Well, it should, because that's actually the day I was born on.
You were born on Friday the 13th. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's so awesome.
Now you know why I'm like the way I am.
Oh, so come March, when we're up to episode 45 or whatever, I'll have to remember that we'll check to see if Miss Vicky's birthday comes on Friday the 13th of this year.
Right.
So that's all right. So as always, I like to start out a little bit with any particular stories, inklings, hints, or lessons that the universe has delivered to you this week. Are you keeping your eyes open and what? I'll start with the life lesson. It's not so much a life lesson, but it's something we had talked about before the recording of the show started that my word was optimized, because I'm a computer guy. I've kind of optimized my life for peace and quiet. And for the past couple of weeks, it has delivered that in a wonderful way. And I just want to say thank you to the universe and the angels and all the people out there who are taking care of me to deliver my life to the peaceful, quiet state that it has been for the past couple of weeks.
Well, that's wonderful. Absolutely. And I wonder how much have you put effort into that to manifest that?
Well, in a way, yes, because I did have to this is a bigger question that I think we're going to get into even more as the show goes on, but I will throw it out now to say yes, because I had to set a boundary with some people in my life, with one specific person in my life, to
Mm-hmm.
tell that person what I would and would not permit. And yes, and that led to some, some words.
Yeah, it will. Yeah. What do
It
you
will.
think?
Yes, it did. And so yes. So I think I did do a little bit of work is the wrong word, but I did do a little bit of work behind the scenes to make sure that the peacefulness and the peace and quiet was,
Yes.
something that could come through for me.
And it's for you and setting those boundaries of, okay, here's my line, basically, like, here's my line in the sand. You go over it, not going to be pretty. But that's important that we set boundaries of what feels good for us. And, people, if people, will accept it, that's great. They're going to honor that. If some don't, then that's their loss and they
Right.
got to figure it out. So it's more, me being your own best friend.
Right. Of
And that's
course.
what you did. And that's really important. And actually, on the Today Show, they were talking about, some lady was on it talking about, basically setting boundaries and, being your own best friend and always looking for what's best for you, because all that good energy is going to go out to other people. So
Mm-hmm.
I commend you for standing up and going, here's my line.
Right. Right. I, yes. I thank you. I accept.
You're welcome.
And no, I'm reminded, I think that's something we talked about last week a little bit in terms of setting boundaries and stuff like that, that it's, and why people, why some people, and I raise my hand, I'm one of those some people, struggle with that sometimes, because we want to be liked, we want to be appreciated, we want to be respected, we want all that. Of course, everybody does. I mean,
Oh,
that's
sure.
natural.
Yes.
But I feel like there's a chance for some people, and again, I would think I'm in that camp, that to over allow other
Mhm.
people to um, have me do the stuff they want rather than me do the stuff that I want, because I'm perhaps, and I'm changing that. So yes, I know I'm choosing my words very carefully. I know that I get that way sometimes, but it's important for me anyway,
It is.
that I recognize that you have to sometimes, just like you said, boundaries are boundaries, and it's like it's not about the what the other person wants and needs all the time, and sometimes you just have to say, sorry, that doesn't work for me. So
And being okay with that, today isn't the best day, or, no, thank you, and walk away. I mean, and
right,
if they have a problem with it, then that's what they got to look at.
right,
So what you've done
and
is
go ahead,
taking care of you. You've
right.
respected yourself, you've loved yourself, you've honored yourself to say, I matter, and this is what's comfortable for me. And, if you take it and are okay with it, great. If you're not, well, then you got to go figure it out. That's yours.
Hey, it's Bill, stepping out of the studio for a quick second. On the podcast, one of the things we talk about a lot is motivation, the desire to get things done in life. It might be physical stuff, losing a few pounds, getting a better job, finding a great relationship. Or it might be more of what I like to call internal things, finding ways to feel better about yourself or life in general. Well, to help our listeners along that particular path, we've prepared a helpful, simple guide for personal motivation. It's called Flipping the Switch: How to Create Motivation at a Moment's Notice. I'd like to send you a free copy, along with some other special bonus goodies. Bonus, you say? Well, yes, kind of an unadvertised in-store special. What is it? Well, you'll just have to find out for yourself. So, do this. Head over to the website, www.thepracticalpathpodcast.com. Yep, the same name as the podcast itself. Put in your email and we'll immediately send you to the free download. We'll also let you know about upcoming podcast episodes and other behind-the-scenes information. Again, just head over to the website, www.thepracticalpathpodcast.com, and get your free guide to boosting your personal motivation. I'm sure you'll find it helpful and, dare I say, practical. Now, back to the show.
Obviously, I mean, it goes without saying that everybody has their own intentions, goals. Everybody has their own things that they want in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I get it.
Sure.
The problem, the challenge, the difficulty is if Bill, as the guy that's hearing and receiving all of those wants and desires from other people, does what everybody else wants before what Bill does, then Bill doesn't have a very happy life. I mean, you may think you are. You may think that, oh, I'm being so helpful to everybody, but what have you done for yourself? Kind of a thing. Look in the mirror, kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I commend you for standing your ground.
Thank you.
Because it's important to have these boundaries. It's important to say, this is what I'm comfortable with, and it's okay to say this, I'm not comfortable with this.
Mm-hmm.
And be respected and honored for it. And if not, again, they have to figure it out. And it's an opportunity for them to learn, how to set boundaries or how to handle things that come up that aren't comfortable for them. So everything has a lesson in it. Now, whatever that other person does with the lesson, learns from it or not, is up on, it's for them to figure out. If they do or don't, that's on them. But I really have to go back to, we have to be our own best friend. We have to take care of ourselves and, be comfortable with giving how far we want to give, how much we want to give, and being okay with that boundary of, okay, here it is, I've given and now I'm done, or I'm going to back off, or maybe it doesn't work today, but if you're okay, maybe in the next couple days I can do that, the flexibility of life,
I'm wondering, and again, this was something we started the conversation before the recording began, but I'll bring everybody up to speed on that. And I mentioned for myself that I was thinking about it while you were chatting there, while you were talking, and something actually popped into my head. So let me share this and see what happens. I'm very challenged by the final closing of something between people. And what I mean is, and well, I guess, now is I should be on a couch somewhere I am telling my therapist this because more stuff is popping into my head as I do it. So just to set the foundation for this, I'm very challenged by saying, I'm never going to see that person again. This is the end of this relationship. It's period, end of statement, full stop, as they say. It's done. It's over. This chapter is done and over, period. And maybe that's one of the reasons that I'm into this spiritual thing, that I think that life goes on after we leave this particular body, this particular life, because I think, well, I've lost people. People have my relationship with my parents, for example. I mean, they're both gone. They're both past, I should say.
Yeah.
There's, if I were to say, it's ashes to ashes and dust to dust, and my father, who I loved, and my mother, who I loved, they're gone. I'll forget it. Never going to happen, and never going to see. But no, I don't really believe that. I kind of believe that their spirit is still out there, and I hear from them occasionally, which I do. I believe that. I mean, you can have your own beliefs, but yeah, I know. Folks, again, in our audience, I'm sure that's where they're coming from, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. So even with that, I still have a feeling that the relationship goes on in a way. But if you're to tell me, if I'm to tell somebody, to tell myself that I'm not going to have a relationship with a person, a living, breathing person who's still on this planet again, that maybe we were friends and we're not anymore or whatever, that's over, done, finished, full stop. That's very challenging for me for some reason. It's like, I always want to be, just in case something happens, and somebody reaches out and goes, "Hey, Bill, you haven't heard from me for 20 years, but, I'm in town, or I, need something or what." So that's weird. The more I think about that, the more kind of weird that is. I think. I'm not sure.
Well, is it always over. I mean, like you said, like you could be going along and 20 years later, a friend calls you and says, "Hey, I'm thinking about you." So it's always out there. I
Right.
feel in this instance, because we were talking before, we started this instance with a friend that you had that was, to me, extremely rude to you. Why
Right.
would you want that person in your life anyway?
Exactly. No,
Because
I'm not arguing that.
they're
Yeah.
constantly rude.
I'm not arguing to allow more. I'm not arguing to allow rudeness in my life.
Right.
Because, like I said, I optimize for peace and quiet and
Mhm.
simple and all of that in life. So you're right. You're 100% correct. That's mine to recognize and
Yes.
to figure out and to live. So yeah, I do get that. I get it that there's a lot. It seems simple. It seems like okay, I just don't want that. But for somebody like me who's been either trained or learned or come to the thinking of, well, I want to keep my options open. I don't want to be totally 100% rude to somebody and say you're done and go, out of my life or whatever. And yet, and I wrote
Yeah.
this down before we started. I'm holding up a note that says some people may or may not stay close to you through your entire life. They just that's that's the way it goes. It's all right. It's just the way things work in
Yeah.
life.
Well, it's like a flow. It's like, water,
Yes.
it just keeps flowing and flowing. So maybe at some point you may, drift back together and see each other, and say hello or whatever. And then they just drift on. I mean,
Right.
that's life. And more so I feel in all relationships, what did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? How can you, use what happened to empower yourself?
Right. Right.
So it could
So,
be a learning lesson.
of course. Of course. And we've talked about that on this show before that you and I are both of the belief that pretty much damn near 100% of everything is a lesson of some sort in
Oh,
life.
yes. Yes.
That it's that one way or another, if you think about it, if you give it some time to marinate a little bit, you can say,
Mhm.
okay, what did I get from that? What did I learn from that? What did I and it's not always comfortable stuff either. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
you
No.
know, but
Yet.
the fact that there is a lesson to it is
Mhm.
valuable in some way.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So looking at this, not naming names, looking at what went on in your conversation and how you're addressing it and you're, willing to feel it, because we have to feel it. And sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
painful.
Mm-hmm.
But what are we doing for ourselves? Excuse me. What are we doing for ourselves? Learning the lesson from it, finding the gift in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for me, on the outside looking in, because it's happened often enough, is how have you learned to love yourself, respect yourself, to set strong boundaries for yourself from this person, that had this attitude with you
Right.
and go, I was the bigger person. I was
Right.
the one with compassion, with understanding. I didn't get, angry. I didn't get rude. I just set my boundaries.
Right. Right. And that's what it comes down to
Mhm.
because as Vicky always says, you have to be your own best friend. And what is that? What the hell does that mean?
What
It's
are you
easy to
doing
say,
right?
but what does it mean? It
Well,
means
what
go
did you
ahead.
just do? What did you
Right.
just do this morning?
Right.
Became your own best friend. You said
Right.
enough's enough.
Right. Right. So that's when we say you be your own best friend, it's like think of who you would take advice from in life. Think of who you would trust to tell you, "Hey Bill, you're kind of being a jerk about this," or "Hey Bill, you're doing the right thing here," or "Hey Bill, have you thought about that?" Your real live best friend in real life would never tell you that was dumb or that was they might, but they'd also have a comeback for you to say, you're okay, let's try something different here.
Right.
Your real life best friend in real life would never tell you to do something that would be, hurt yourself or damage your own personal stuff or, not physical stuff, but I mean, what I'm saying here. Your
Right.
own best friend would be smart enough to say, hey, if all your friends jump, like your mother used to say, if all your friends jump off a cliff, you going to do it too? So your
Mhm.
best friend is going to be there at the side of the road going, hey, no, this, yeah,
Think about it.
think about it. So all of that was just to get to the point of you're allowed to do that. You're encouraged to do that for
Yeah.
yourself,
Yes.
for
Yes.
yourself.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because you have it within you. If you listen, if you really pay attention, and sometimes that little voice is quiet, and sometimes that little voice does yell at you in a good
Mhm.
way, in a good way, to
Mhm.
say,
Yes.
hey, this is not working. This is not cool. This is not where you want to be. This isn't where you want to go. This isn't all of that. Pick your wording there. So if
And
a friend could tell you that, why can't
yes.
you tell yourself that? Is I think the bottom line to all of this BS that I've been spewing here. Right.
Yes. That's it. What would you tell yourself? How would you support yourself, encourage yourself? Because we do that with our friends. We've got to do that with ourselves.
Right.
And looking at this of knowing who you are, if that person came back and say, "Can you help me?" You've got such a huge heart and you're such a good person. You turn around and go, "Okay, I'll help you." Yet you would have stronger boundaries. You'd have more awareness of, what would potentially go on because you know that person.
Right.
You know how they act.
Right. Right. So
So,
that's kind of the back half, the second part of the taking care of yourself and being your own best friend, and that is in incorporating those lessons. Here we
mhm.
are again with more life lessons. Life
Oh
gives you
yes.
lessons every day in everything. Life is an ongoing classroom. It's not enough just to sit through the class. You actually have to put the stuff to work at some point,
Yes,
or at least that's the
absolutely.
goal, I think, right?
Mhm.
The goal
Yeah,
is that, all right, I've learned this crap. Now what do I do? Crap is that?
that's crap.
That's a technical term that we throw around sometimes. But I've learned this stuff. What do I do with this stuff now? Which means exactly what we've been talking about, that next time you
Mhm.
get to make a decision when someone asks Bill something or needs Bill for something or whatever, I get to make a more informed decision that
Mhm.
will support more of what I want. And again, you see, every time I say that, I can hear that thing in my head going, yeah, but don't be so self-centered kind of a thing. No, it's not that. It's not that.
It's
I
not
know.
that. Where do you
No, I
get
know.
that? Yeah,
I'm, I'm throwing it out there that some
yeah,
people,
yeah.
and I was one of those peoples.
One
I
of
was
those
one of those
people.
peoples that used to think that, but I feel I have learned enough of those lessons that now I can apply them in real life,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
can say, no, thank you, and mean it, and still be okay with it, and
Mhm.
all of that. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So every moment we're alive, we got the opportunity to learn, to grow, to evolve, to shift. It's just that constant movement, constant energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's
reflecting on it, how does that experience this morning, how has it empowered you?
well, exactly. I think in the ways we've been talking about, in that I think in putting distance between myself and this other person, or at least and again, it's not been a process. It's just that I noticed this morning that it's been 2 weeks since I told this person that I gave them my boundaries in
Mhm.
clear language and made a decision and all of that. And then things haven't heard from that person in a couple of weeks. So, and I was commenting, oh, it's been a peaceful and quiet 2 weeks, which has been a net gain for me, a net positive, as we say in
It's
the stock market.
wonderful. Yes,
Yeah,
congratulations.
the things have been good. So yes, how is it? It's not like it's been a real process of every day I need to do this or do that or whatever. I made a decision back there, and now I'm living the benefits of that decision. I'm experiencing the
Yes.
benefits of that decision, which is more peace, more quiet, and more clarity for myself. I said
Hmm.
something, I meant it, I stuck with it. Okay, cool. Pat on back. Right on airtime.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's your empowerment.
Right.
You respected yourself, you honored yourself, you set strong boundaries. Whatever that person does with all this information, that's up to them. But look at what you've done. You've given them those gifts. You know, you've done what you needed to do. But mostly, look at how you honored yourself and respected yourself. And that's really important.
It really is. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
this is one of those. This is one of those onion things that we talk about on the show that you will
Yes.
never, ever, ever get to the bottom of. That you continually unpeel those layers of onion,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is one of those onions of infinite layers. Ooh, there's a bumper sticker or a T-shirt there.
I know. I
Onion of-
like that. I was thinking the
Also,
same thing.
that spells oil. I don't know if that works or not. Onion, OIL, onion of infinite layers. But anyway, it is one of those things that
Yes.
you unpack or figure out or do something about, and then but it's never over. It's never like, okay, I'm done with this. Thank God. Whew. Okay, universe, what's next? No, there's going to be another quiz. The universe,
Yeah.
we said every day is a classroom. There's going to be
Yes.
another test, another quiz, another whatever. Yeah. A friend of ours, Reverend Gregory Keene, a friend of ours who's also
Yeah.
in this spiritual business, I remember his line with this, which was, you're out there standing in the middle of the freeway and that truck comes along and blows you away. Sooner or later, the truck is going to keep coming because it's a highway and it's full of trucks. But eventually you learn to step aside.
Exactly. Yes.
To me, that's the whole thing. It's like the
Yes.
lessons are going to keep coming.
Yeah.
They are. But it's like, oh, I've seen this before. I know what happens here. And I
Yep.
know that all I need to do is step aside, or whatever that means to you in this particular lesson. Say
Right.
this thing, do this thing, stay out of the way, don't answer the phone.
Don't answer the
Whatever.
phone.
Don't answer the phone, whatever. And I'm not going to say class over because, like he said, it's a highway. The trucks keep coming. That's what they do.
Yep.
It's going to keep happening, but you're just going to get better and better and better at going, oh, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just stepping out of that. I'm not even on the highway. I'm not even crossing the road, the
Exactly.
chicken crossing
Yep.
the road thing. So yes.
Another one of my favorites is when somebody's going on and on, I just go, okay.
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 Okay is so underrated. Okay is so powerful and yet so underrated. Now you have to say it. You have to, there's a tiny bit of mindfulness in saying okay, because you can't do like okay.
No,
or you can't go, oh, okay. It's literally practicing it to be flat.
Yeah,
right?
just very light and very like, okay,
Okay.
what do you do with it? I mean, it's like,
Right.
it's just kind of hangs
Right.
around and then I walk away.
Right. That's so powerful. Folks, if you're not writing that down, I'm writing it down for you, and I'm going to mention that. It is, there might just be a whole book there. The power of okay.
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 And it's got to be light. It's got to be neutral.
Neutral is the
And
word.
people look at you like, what?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
What do you do with it?
That's
you
it.
can't
That's the
argue
point.
it.
That's the whole thing right there. What do you do with that? Well, the answer is darn little. And that's the point. That's the whole thing. That it's like, okay. Yeah, because some people, and again, we're back to those people that are asking you that are, that either aren't respecting your boundaries or you haven't told them your boundaries, because it works both ways.
Oh, sure.
That usually you're going to force them, not force, wrong word, but you're going to, if just by saying, okay, you're going to force them to actually come out and say the thing that they want, if that's what indeed that they want. And then you have the option to say, okay, that doesn't really work for me, or not this time, or, can't do that. Sorry, busy, whatever. And again, it's not that we need to be making excuses for why we can't do something.
No.
And maybe I'll, hunt around on the internet or talk to some other gurus or something, because I mean, not that we're not doing the work here, which we are. There needs to be, I'd like to find the best, easiest way to say no without it being, I mean, yeah, you can just come right out and say, no, I can't do that. I mean, right? You can do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for me or whatever, because because I hear, sometimes when I hear that, I know that leaves the door open for the other person to try to find a way to make it work.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, no, I know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here sometimes.
Yeah.
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 If you do it right, if you do it, and again, it's going to be different with all the people in your life, right? Obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Some people, they need the flat out, no, sorry, can't do it.
Nope.
Whatever. So anyway, I might be overthinking this. That's one of my superpowers, is overthinking shit. So sorry, stuff.
I think you overthink. I think you have the brain that is always working. You're always
It kind
exploring,
of is.
always
Kind of is.
things are always coming in, which is wonderful.
Until you're trying to sleep at night. Yeah.
Well, yeah, then that's when you take melatonin or something like that. Just say to your brain, okay, we're shutting down for the day, we're locking the door.
Our friend and my fellow podcaster BJ Odom has discovered those gummies out there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried those, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Because
they come in all shapes and sizes. What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, because our brains, are constantly working and going, and it's like, oh, just shut down. You wish you could have a key and lock the door and go, okay, I'm done.
Right. I turn the computer off every night. Like you said, you turn the phone off every night. It's like, why can't I just turn my brain off at night? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
This should be easy. Should be.
Should be.
Not always the case. So
not always.
So we started this whole thing out by asking if there were any particular life lessons from the universe this week, etc. And because that's one of the ways I want to. And here we are, a half hour later. We launched into this major discussion about all the stuff I've been working on and going through and manifesting this week for myself. And just before the break, how about you, Miss Vicki? Not to totally shut things down, but I feel like I've pretty much exhausted myself with Bill and his boundaries.
Well, this is important. And look at how by sharing it, you're reaching, hopefully we're reaching thousands and thousands of people.
Of course.
And how we're influencing them by, we've gone through it. It's an example to learn from, to grow from, and to, inspire them to, if something comes up, here's the opportunity, to shift it.
Yes.
That's why I love doing this, because, I don't have all the answers, but I share what, I've been through a lot at 71. I've been through a lot.
Right.
And sharing that and, hopefully, somebody learns from it and changes their life, because we're willing to talk about it and laugh about it. And laughter is another good medicine, is
Absolutely.
laughing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So throwing that in there to the mix, that there's a lot of little things that sometimes people don't even recognize because they're small, but it makes a huge difference, by saying, okay, laughing, talking to somebody about it, getting it out, punching a punching bag, or taking a stick and beating something, like, go out and beat a rock or something, getting that energy out so that it doesn't, weigh you down, or it doesn't control you.
Right.
So
yeah, no, you just hit upon something there that I think is really important, and that is the control thing. It's like, are you in charge here, or is something else, somebody else, or even subconscious thought in your own self controlling things?
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of that. I mean, duh. I mean, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, that most of us go through life doing things, working on things, processing things based on stuff that's so way far back in the back of our brains that we're not even conscious we're doing it ourselves. And
Yeah.
yet you may, have that moment that it's like, why the hell did I say that or do that or think that?
Hmm.
And that's the moment where you go, oh, wait a minute. I'm not 100% in charge here, am I?
Yeah.
It's like some other subconscious process back there.
Yeah, like a little bell going off and going, whoa, wait a minute, getting your attention. And that's the other thing the universe does. It'll set up scenarios to get your attention. If you're not
Right.
working on it, shifting it, oh yeah, they get very creative. I've had a lot of lessons in that one.
Right. A lot of lessons. So today's show is all about lessons, I guess. Well, I don't know what it is, but it's something like that. But about halfway done, and my coffee is empty, so I need to go refill that for more fuel for the second half of the show. So let's take a quick break.
All right.
And yeah, more of this when we continue because this is awesome stuff. So go make your bathroom stop or refill your coffee, do whatever you have to do, and we will be right back. Welcome back. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. I'm Bill Skladowski. That's Vicki Wagner. We haven't even asked or shared with people if they are interested in chatting with
Oh,
Miss Vicki
sure.
about this, how they might get a hold of her and learn to be your own best friend. That's a great catchphrase, and I think that's
Mhm.
pretty much one of the main things of this program, learning to be your own best friend. If somebody would like some help with that, how would they get a hold of you?
Well, they can call or text 239-248-0586 or email me at Vicki, Vicki, Wagoner, Wagoner 53 at gmail.com.
There you go. And of course, as we've said many a time, and I haven't filled my promise yet, but I'm feeling a little more motivated, so I'm good with that. So more of my videos and stuff showing up at Bill's
Oh,
Phone Tips on YouTube coming soon. So I know that
yes.
was interesting that we been talking, well, boundaries and stuff, but I wanted to go back for a second to that
Okay.
motivation thing that it's like,
Mhm.
that's been so interesting to me to feel how motivation comes, goes, etc. I know, and I have a lot of friends who were in various online businesses and some folks who did who were there. Believe me, there's a point to this, folks. Let me get around to it. They were trainers and they were coaches and still are, but I'm just not in those businesses anymore. But one of the guys I do remember would always say, you know, I wake up, I do this, and he goes to the gym, he takes, all of this stuff he does and everything like that. And he says, motivation has nothing to do with it. He says, this is
Oh,
what I do. This is who I am. This is what I do in the morning. It doesn't motivated or not. What's motivation got to do with it? This is what I do in the morning when I get out of bed. And I'm like, damn, man, how do I get
wow.
that infusion?
I know where they get that discipline.
this, and believe me, I've been reading about that and watching some YouTube videos about that from real people who have real expertise on that. And the idea is that you're starting with something small and you're something you can do. And I think I've talked about this last week where it's like, okay, I want to record these videos. All right, well, I'm going to write a script today. I'm going to set up my studio today. I'm going to do this little piece, this little piece, this little piece until it
Right.
all kind of, until it's you get to the point where it's like, well, I've done all that other work. I might as well do this. But one of the things I've learned over the past week is that the discipline of it comes in the habit of it. That
Oh,
discipline is just another
yes.
word for habit. I
Right.
wake up every morning, I make coffee. Okay. Do I have any discipline to make coffee? No. I just wake up every morning and the first thing I do after my bathroom stop is I wander to the kitchen and I turn the coffee maker on.
Right.
How does that work? Well, I'm glad you asked. The night before, I fill up the coffee maker with coffee and water, and all I got to do is literally push the button in the morning and it makes coffee. Oh, so you set yourself up for success.
Yes.
Oh, there's a little, yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
screw motivation, create habits. Basically, screw motivation, create habits. Now, coffee, pretty easy.
Yeah,
Creating a YouTube video, a little more work, but the in-between steps are just
that's easy.
creating the habit
Yes.
of doing it. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I found somebody posted on Twitter/X the other day, and I kept this. I took a screenshot of it, and some of the language is a little, so I won't do all the language. But it basically said, it basically says, keep your effing composure. No matter how numerous the threats, how insurmountable the barriers, or how overwhelming the odds, if you keep your shit together, you will make it. Open your eyes, watch what's going on, envision how it's going to go down. Be responsive, be supple, become what the situation demands. It sounds like Bruce Lee. Hold your ground, don't flinch. Steady as she effing goes. Don't let go of anything. Let go of anything you don't need.
Yeah.
Don't look back, breathe, move, think. Choose to continue. And
I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Mhm.
It's a little strong, perhaps, in their choice of language, but the idea of it, watch what's going on, open your eyes, envision
Yes.
how it's going to go down.
Yes, that's manifesting. Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Love him or hate him, Tom Cruise in one of his movies one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, believe it or not, is not one of the Mission Impossible movies, although I like those.
Yes.
The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
And there's a couple scenes in there where like 4 or 5 bad guys are getting ready to gang up on him. And it plays through the scene in his head of here slow motion. And he's not thinking out loud, but you see him going, I'm gonna make this move, I'm gonna turn to this guy, I'm gonna make this, the sword comes out here, the kick goes here, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it whoosh comes back to him, and he looks, and it happens. And I'm like, that is so cool.
That is.
But it's exactly what we're talking about. Envision how it's going to go down.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Be responsive, be supple, become what the situation demands. And to me, I just love that. I just love that stuff. So anyway, that's one of my, I guess that's one of my mantras for the week. I don't know.
I love
envision
that.
how it's going to go down.
Yes, because it's kind of like that flow that I mentioned earlier, just letting it flow and you just go with that. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, gosh.
Might have to check Netflix or Amazon Prime to see if they have Tom Cruise, to see if they have The Last Samurai out there. Check it out. It's a great movie. I think it's a great movie anyway, but it's kind of a guy movie. It's kind of a guy movie, I admit, but it's still a good one. Still a good one.
Once in a while, I enjoy stuff like that.
I know, right? I know. I'm actually watching a very female series, and I say female because it's produced by women, and it's a very women-centered story.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of one of those Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing. It's called The Wheel of Time. It's called The Wheel of Time, and it's on Amazon Prime as well, if you want.
Oh, okay.
And an actress by the name of Rosamund Pike, I hope I got that right, produced it, directed a couple of them, but it's based on a famous fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons series of novels, kind of like Game of Thrones was. It was like there was a whole series of books. So this Wheel of Time, same thing, but it's very female centered and not in a preachy way. That's just the way the story is.
Right.
And I watched one of those last night, and I'm like, okay, I've watched the whole first season. This is the best one so far. And they were testing this young lady who's entering, I don't know, the sisterhood or the whatever of leaders of whatever they call. And she would step through this magical gate.
Oh.
And it would show her something about her life, and she would have to make the decision they never told her. It was great the way they set it up. But the prime sister or whatever, the major lady would say, the decision to leave, the exit door basically will appear only once. And at that point, you need to. So she would step through this, and it was like she was living a whole nother life. And she was having this
Wow.
amazing life and everything. And she almost forgot what was going on. And then she turns at one point and sees the exit door, kind of like the old Star Trek holodeck thing.
Yes.
She would see
Yep.
the exit door, and she'd already had a child, and she'd already done this, and and it's like she had to make that horrible decision to step out of that life and back to the real life of whatever. And she had 3 different tests like that. Anyway,
Ooh.
I don't know what all that has to do with spirituality, except it's the same thing of, steady as you goes. Don't let go of what you need. Be responsive, be supple. Make them what. Anyway, trying to put it all together there. I don't know if I'm doing a great job, but it is the lessons you get
Mhm.
from life in all of this, and sometimes you have to
Yes.
be aware. I guess that's the point. That the
Yes.
lesson you're getting, be aware that it is a lesson. Be aware that,
Mhm.
it's like I can learn from this. I can take something from it. Anyway,
Oh,
long story short. All right,
absolutely.
so there's the plug for Wheel of Time. Go watch it on Amazon. So
Well,
anyway,
that was perfect with what we've been talking
right,
about.
right. It
Just
is.
and from a different perspective. And that's the thing too, is everybody learns and grows in the way that they're comfortable with. So by offering it in different ways, in different forms, you attract more people and you inspire more people. So
Right,
sometimes you do have to say it not in a different language, but you know what I mean by a different language or a different way, because everybody has different ways of learning and growing and
right,
absorbing information. So
right.
I think that was a perfect example for some people that are into all that, that it makes, that makes sense to them and inspires them.
And maybe right there, you just put your finger on something that's important as we talk to folks on this show, as we talk to our friends and our audience and wherever
Mhm.
you were at. We love you and we appreciate you listening. But remember, your lessons will come to you in whatever way they need to. It's
Yes.
not like Bill spent the first half hour of the show talking about how he had to set a boundary with a friend that had been asking for something that he no longer wanted to give or whatever.
Right.
You may or may not have that going on in your life. Probably not, because everybody has their own lessons, their own
Mhm.
things that they need to learn.
Mhm.
And if I can just kind of put one last thing on that, and that is, I think basically this classroom that we're in, this earth, this
Yes.
learning thing gives you lessons in exactly the thing you need to learn most. Yeah, I see
Absolutely.
you nodding there.
Yep. Absolutely.
It just, whatever it is, what if it's a personality thing, if it's a physical thing, an emotional thing, a mental thing, or whatever, they're gonna keep knocking at that door. Like you said, they sometimes the lessons come easy and sometimes they come at with a baseball bat.
Oh yeah, with
So,
a kick
oh
in the
yeah,
pants.
oh, kick in the butt. So if that's happening to you, don't panic about it. Don't, well, Bill, I don't have
Yes.
anybody in my life that's asking. Okay, fine. You got other stuff. We all
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, to
Oh
learn the
yeah.
stuff.
To learn, to grow, to evolve, because the next lifetime, because I do believe in reincarnation, the next lifetime we're already getting set up for that lifetime. And then that lifetime that we go through, it's going to go to the next one and the next one and the next one. So,
Yeah.
but
I believe
yeah.
that too. I do. I
Oh, I
think we
do.
get I hope, good God, it would be terrible to think that we carry the lessons learned forward with us, that we get a little better as we go.
I
It's like,
feel we do.
sure.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And even if they don't, you're still learning them for this life and they're useful and helpful in this life.
Yes.
Absolutely. So again, if life is throwing you, like they said, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? I mean, it's
Have
that
to.
simple. It's, that simple. I
Oh
love
yeah.
lemonade. There
Yeah,
you go.
I've made a lot of lemonade in my life. Still going.
Still going. And that's fine.
Oh
That's,
gosh.
if
Hey.
that's what it takes, not what it takes, if that's how you transmute that kind of experience,
Mhm.
transform it, whatever the word is you like, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect, because
absolutely.
you're here to learn something.
Oh yes.
And
Always.
and I think a big part I was going to make a big statement there, and I'm going to stand by it. I think a big part of I think a big part of our life here is to do just that, which is to figure out what the lesson is we're supposed to learn,
Mhm.
and then go ahead and learn it, or at least make some progress on it.
Yeah, I feel it's like a continuum. We just continually growing, evolving,
Right.
changing, shifting. So, and looking at everything as how can I learn from it? How can I grow from it? What gift is the universe giving me? So,
And last but certainly not least, maybe for today, last but not least, something Vicki told me 25 years ago, and it is still true today. 99.999% of the time, it's about self-worth and self-love, and
yes,
which goes back to the being your own best friend thing.
yes, absolutely. It definitely is what I believe. I
Uh-huh.
honor what anybody else believes, but that's what I believe 110%.
Right, right.
Definitely.
And when you again peel back a layer or two of that onion, you can
Mhm.
see that. I mean, I hope you can. If you can't, maybe I'd invite you to, check in with Miss Vicky for some help on that, and maybe just do a little reading on your own or whatever. But yeah, even I mean, we spent the first half hour of the show about me ranting about these lessons I'm learning about boundaries and things like
Right.
that.
Very important.
Get to the bottom of that. Where does it again, you're never getting to the bottom. Peel a few layers of that onion. Where do you get? You get to, oh, this is Bill valuing himself
Yes.
instead of, and I
You're
hate the
right.
black and white comparisons. That's probably it. That might be my whole thing with all this. The black and white. Somebody's either in your life or they're not. I'm either taking care of myself or I'm pissing off somebody in my life. I hate sorry for the strong language, but that's a fallacy. I recognize that. I'm just laying it out there that this is
Right.
sometimes how I feel myself thinking. If
Okay.
I don't do this thing for this other person, that's going to tell them that I don't like them, that I'm not there for them. I'm not their friend, whatever. No, to quote the old, book, which has nothing to do with spirituality, there are 50 shades of gray in between.
There are.
So it's
There are.
not, life is rarely black and white. Some
Oh,
things definitely black and white,
oh yeah.
okay. Don't give me those crazy examples of whatever. But for you, for me, for Bill, for Vicky, for everybody, for our listeners or whatever, you can set boundaries without saying
Yes.
F you to somebody else in your life. It's just,
Mhm.
it's not that hard and fast,
Right.
but better to have that than not.
Yeah. No, boundaries are very important.
Right.
Absolutely, very important. Because it's boundaries are you respecting yourself, but you're also respecting the other person. And again, by setting our boundaries, telling our truth, being available or not available, whatever is happening, is we're being authentic. We're saying, this is how we feel. These are our boundaries, going back to that.
Right.
Because a lot of people, you know, tend to just give and give and give, and then they're exhausted. And then there's others, that, don't do anything. So where is the middle part, and it's okay to, have these boundaries that say, okay, today works or today doesn't. And, be okay then. And if somebody has a reaction to it, well, that's theirs. You're being
Right.
honest with them. You're being straightforward. And you're loving yourself, respecting yourself to say, well, this is what I can do or not do. So I think, again, it goes back to we have to take care of us first
Mm-hmm.
before we can take care of anybody else. Like they say, like if the plane goes down, you put on, the oxygen mask on yourself first and then give it to the other person. So it's
Right.
kind of
Right.
that same thing of taking care of you. You're also setting that example that other people can do that for themselves. Now, if they take that example or not, that's up to them, but we're offering that.
Right. Right. And
And,
that
and
example, that airplane example is people gloss over that a lot, but it's so doggone true. It's so big that if you're not doing your own thing and taking care of yourself, the chances of you having any energy, any love, any whatever left over to share with those around you is not good. You're not, you have to be okay with yourself first in order to
Yes.
be able to give and share and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But, and you used a word there that we haven't had all day, and it's so important: authenticity. I love that.
Yes,
That this
absolutely.
is really who I am, what I want for myself, what I choose for myself. That's my authentic self coming through.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid that that's something you need to hide.
Oh, it's something that we need to show. We need to share because I feel that, there's so much in the world that, you question, and you doubt. And if you show up authentic, you go, here I am, this is me. It's so refreshing to see. It's so refreshing to feel because we're feeling beings. We can feel this,
Right.
so it's so important to be true to yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself, be authentic and share that with everybody.
And
So,
again, that goes back to, once you're doing that, then now you have energy to share love, whatever you choose to call it, with the rest of the
right?
world,
Yeah.
because you're not, and because it's true. I mean, if you're being something, if you're trying to be, I should say, if you're trying to be something you're not, that
Mhm.
takes a lot of energy, and it's
That's
tiring. It
It
really
is
is.
tiring. It's exhausting. And when you're exhausted, when you're tired, that's when, you get, angry or you get hurt or you get, worn out. And what are you sharing? You're sharing all this with everybody. So just being authentic and going, okay, today works or tomorrow's better, or you know what? It doesn't fit right for me and be okay with it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right.
And whatever the person reacts to it, that's their choice. But you
Exactly.
are being authentic. You are loving and respecting yourself.
And that's the important part.
That is the
And
important part.
again, it's not good, bad, ugly, or what. It's none of those things. It is you being authentic. And if authentic today means no, I can't do that, then okay, that's what it
Yeah,
means.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's so important. So doggone important, that authenticity thing. There's a guy, and I forget his name, James something or other. I'll find out. Altucher,
All two.
Altuc. James. I know it's a weird name. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
New York columnist or something like that. Wrote a
Oh,
book called
okay.
The Power, because this is going back to the power of okay that we talked about before. And I
Oh,
just wanted to
yes.
finish with, if you need some help with this, go online and find The Power of No. James
Oh,
Altucher, I think is how it's spelled. Altuch. I think you'll find it. Look for The Power of No. It's a book.
okay.
And basically it talks, and he's, again, a New York writer and columnist and all that. So he's a little more gruff in his, he doesn't come at it from a spiritual perspective as Bill and Vicki do, but it's an awesome book, well written and simple to the point, but it's basically the same thing. And that is the ability to say no when you want to, rather than beating around the bush and having
Yeah,
people thinking that, having different expectations of you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, love
Mhm.
that. I
Oh,
do.
that's awesome. I'll have to look that up.
Power of
No,
no.
seriously. Yeah.
Right? Right. There's
No.
also, and I just thought of this too. Oh, go ahead. You're going to say?
No, no, I was going to say, you said, like he's very colorful in his talk. I do the same working with people because if you're talking nice all the time, it kind of, just kind of, you know, um, it doesn't quite get the point. So I've been known to say a few words, off-colored words, and
Of
boy, it
course.
really gets at their attention. And it
Right?
makes them go, oh, wait, I never thought of it that way. Or, I never thought that I could get angry, or I never thought that I
Right.
could say my truth. And it's, well, I won't use my colorful words that I like,
It's all
but
right.
the point is I'm getting to the heart of it. And to me,
Right.
that's what's most important is get to the bottom of what is really going on. And a lot of people don't want to look at that bottom, but you've got to. And that's why sometimes, I get colorful in my language because it shocks them out of, oh, I have to be the good little girl, or I got to be the good little boy, or, I got to make sure that everybody else is taken care of, before I take care of myself. And it's like,
Right.
okay, well, we'll get to that BS real quick, buddy. You know.
And if you're okay with that level of language, I have one more book for you.
Okay.
And I don't remember who wrote it, so apologies. It's probably on one of my shelves here in the house somewhere. But the book is called, and I am not making this up, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F.
Oh,
The
wow.
Subtle
I
Art of
need
Not
that
Giving,
book.
which, and basically his thinking is, some things require your giving an F, and
Hmm.
some things don't. And the power comes from making the decision of, does this demand my level of attention that I actually give a frack about it, or doesn't it? And
Right.
being okay with the it doesn't. So, I only have so many fracks to spend during the day.
Right.
Wasn't that an old country song? That was an old country music song, and it was one of the first. I'm not a country music fan, but it was one of the few that I like, which is called "My Give a Damn Is Busted."
Oh, I know that song. I love country music. So
I know
I
you do,
can't think of
but that
who
was
it is,
that was
but
20 years
yeah,
ago. Yeah, "My Give a Damn Is Busted."
busted.
So, yeah, and so anyway, what an interesting way to end the show about all
I
these ways that we
know.
care and don't care. I love it.
I
So
know.
it is. It is and
Awesome.
again, it all comes back to, if we can kind of wrap things up,
Wrap it up.
doing what is right for you, being authentic to yourself.
Oh, yes. I love that. Yep. That's it.
And not saying it's going to be easy, but others have done it before, and you can get help with it, and we'll have that in a moment. But so it's doable, and we would
Yes.
encourage it.
Oh, absolutely encourage it. Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
If somebody would like some help in getting some of that encouragement, Miss Vicki, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, like I said, they can call or text 239-248-0586 or email me at Vicki, Vicki, Wagner, Wagoner 53 at gmail.com.
Of course, and if you need to be authentic with your high tech gizmo and gadgets, and it's so
Yes.
weird that I actually talk about this because it has nothing to do with the show, and yet I do know that my friend Vicky will occasionally call me and be in meltdown mode because her phone isn't doing something that she wants. So I do think of it as a spiritual service to the world,
It is very much a spiritual service to the world and to my husband, who thanks you every time.
right? So she's not going off on him. So if you need help with your gizmos and gadgets, go to YouTube and look up Bill's iPhone tips, and you'll find me there. So there you go.
Yes, and you're awesome at that. You're really so good about that.
It's one
You
of my
are.
superpowers. It is.
It is your superpower. One of. You have many.
One
but
of.
One
One
of.
of. It's I got a few. Not eating pizza is one of them too, but not this week. I'm being really good on my diet this week.
You
So we'll see how that goes.
are. You're doing
I know
great.
that's a whole nother discussion for a whole other day. Next week we'll find out how Bill's diet went for the week, because I'm being very super strict. Strict. I'm following the rules 100% this week.
Well,
So we'll see.
well, look at it this way. You're being disciplined.
Disciplined. Look at you bringing
Mhm.
it back to what we talked about during the show. How
Yes.
awesome is that?
Yes.
And yet so totally correct. So there you go. All right. All right, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you being here with us. We thank you for joining us again for this week. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, I'm Bill Sklodowski.
And I'm Vicki Wagner, and thank you again for joining us. And remember, always be your own best friend.